And welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers, we're here every week meeting interesting people and discussing topical issues. And today we've had on a guest that I've been wanting to have on the show for a long time, Roger Webb, the president at UCO.
Yes, president of the third largest university in the state of Oklahoma, over 16,000 students. And he's going to come on and tell us about a lot of exciting things that are going on at his university. And we've called this show, What's Going On at UCO? That's what we're going to find out today.
And we'll get right to it. Mick Cornett, Kent Myers, and our guest today, Roger Webb, the president of the University of Central Oklahoma, on The Verdict.
Every day America uses clean-burning natural gas instead of coal or oil is a day of victory for our environment. That's why Chesapeake chose to explore for natural gas exclusively, and we've never looked back. Because natural gas burns twice as clean as oil or coal, and reducing carbon emissions to combat potential global warming is every bit as urgent as cutting our dependence on energy imports. As America's #1 driller of new gas wells, Chesapeake is moving fast to find untapped reserves of natural gas here at home. It's the right fuel for America's economy and the fuel for a clean air future. We just happen to be early to see it so clearly. Chesapeake, natural gas wins the day.
Wilsey, Meyer, Edmond, Tate. We're accountants. We do taxes, business valuations, estate planning, and consulting. And we're right here in Oklahoma, working with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Steve Wilsey and Stuart Meyer have the resources and the experience. Wilsey, Meyer, Edmond, Tate in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Today we're pleased to have Roger Webb, the president of University of Central Oklahoma, join us for his first appearance on The Verdict. Roger did his undergraduate work at Oklahoma State University. His law degree he obtained from the University of Oklahoma. For 4 years he was commissioner of public safety here in Oklahoma, and then 19 years was president of Northeastern State University in Tahlequah. He is now the 19th president of the University of Central Oklahoma, has been since 1997. We are very pleased to have him come talk to us about what's going on at UCO. Welcome.
Thank you, Ken. It's a delight to be with you and the mayor on The Verdict.
Well, we're glad to have you. We've recently had shows of David Boren and Burns Hargis and wanted to get you on to kind of continue that series of shows on higher education. Tell me what's going on at UCO. Give us your blanket 60-second Chamber of Commerce speech right up front.
Well, thanks for letting us balance what's going on at Norman and Stillwater. Exciting things are happening at Edmond at UCO. It's a campus that is literally on fire. I mean, if we were a stock, even in today's market, Jim Cramer would be saying buy, buy, buy. UCO it's exciting to be around a campus with so many bright, creative people. Enrollment is growing, new programs. Maybe we'll have a chance to talk about some of them during our visit today.
Well, one of the things I've noticed is that through the years, UCO has kind of developed its own identity. It no longer is a commuter school where people from Oklahoma City might go to take a class at night. It has very much become a vibrant force in this community and is educating people from all over this part of the country.
Well, we have students from every county. We have students from every state in the union and 100 countries around the world. But you're right in your comment. I mean, we will not succeed if we try to compete against what's going on at the research universities. I mean, we have our own identity. We're doing the best job, I think, of anywhere of training undergraduate students. And we have leadership as a centerpiece of our university commitment. You're familiar with what we're doing in leadership, but if we are able to send out leaders into the main streets of the cities and towns of Oklahoma, that could be our greatest gift as a university to our state.
I noticed recently that you, and in fact Mick, joined with you in announcing the Academy of Contemporary Music program that UCO is beginning. Can you tell us about that? What is it? What's behind it? Where's it going to be? Just tell us all about that.
Oh, I'd love to tell you about the academy. We're going to be delivering to Bricktown, to Oklahoma City, a unique model for the delivery of music education for students who are serious about the music business or the business of music. This will be the coolest, most prestigious way to have a pathway into the music business. We're collaborating with the Academy of Contemporary Music, ACM, which is in London, which is probably the most successful rock and contemporary music school in the world, certainly in the UK. They will be our partners, and we're going to be working with them to establish this music identity.
Well, how did you get associated with them? I understand, relationships develop inside the state or inside the region, but that's a long ways away.
Well, it is, and it's basically through our jazz program. They were familiar with some of the things that we were doing with jazz, and we had some of our graduates who are out who are working in London, and so we had the connection there, and also through Scott Booker, who is the Oklahoma City guy who is a UCO grad, but who is a agent for and manager of the Flaming Lips. Scott was aware of ACM. I had a chance I was doing a lecture in the University of East London on terrorism, and I able to visit ACM, and I thought, man, this would be great for Oklahoma. So we started the communication. They came and visited Oklahoma City, visited Bricktown, spent some time with us, and said, we'd like to collaborate with you guys, and so that's how the arrangement and the association began.
And I suppose it's not just rock and roll. We'll call it the School of Rock, and people may gravitate toward that form of music because it may be the most popular, but it's really much broader than that.
That's right. It's contemporary music, contemporary Christian music, country music, jazz, pop, all genres will be taught there. But the School of Rock sort of popped out, and that's really the first thing on people's lips. But it is a broad-based music program.
Do you try to do more than just advance someone's musical talents? Is there also the business aspects of the recording industry?
And that's one of the things that really caught my attention, is the fact that people who want to get into production, to management, to behind the business of music in the UK is a 50 billion pound industry, and 75% of it is not the performing. It's the production and the management and the packaging, digital music. So the business of music will be a very important part of what we'll be doing in the Bricktown program.
Well, how'd you select Bricktown, and what are the pluses and minuses of that being a campus?
Well, it's different because we're used to the serenity of the college campus, which is a bit laid back. The ACM model is a very high energy program, and it's very creative, and it's perfect for what we're seeing it's developing in Bricktown. So we decided we want it to be down there. We want it to be where students can be close to the people, where they'll be able to perform in restaurants and in clubs, be down on the canal, and it seems to be a perfect fit for.
When will you expect your first incoming class, and how large do you expect it to be?
We intend to bring students in this August. We'll have students
August
coming
of
in
09.
this coming August. Right. That's correct. And the interesting thing, we're only just a few weeks away from the announcement here. We haven't even begun doing our publicity, which we'll be publicizing this program nationally. We had this past week we had over 1,000 inquiries into our registrar about this program. Wow. It is incredible how many people across the country have heard about it, and we'll be, again, hopefully, Mayor, we may be able to establish in a few years a new music identity for Oklahoma City with what you're doing here.
Well, I think it could be the start of something very, very big. I think you're absolutely right. Well, tell us about some other things going on at UCO.
Well, I mentioned leadership a while ago, and you had a chance to come in, was one of our speakers, and we thank you very much for that. This is a class that I teach every Tuesday morning, which has over 150 students enrolled in it at Edmond, but we also webcast this out to 5 community colleges around the state. So we have a strong cadre of young people who are interested in craving leadership. We are fortunate enough to have John Maxwell, the great author who's written over 40 books, was here a week ago. John Maxwell made this statement. He said, "I have 3 degrees, 3 college degrees, and never once did I have a class on leadership." That it's so important that colleges and universities teach leadership. And we believe that if we can introduce our students to the concept of leaders, to help them understand what it means to be a leader in their career, whatever their field is, and in their community, and send out students across the state, that this will be a great gift to the state of Oklahoma.
16,000 approximately is your enrollment. What has the trend been? Has it been flat, increasing, decreasing?
The trends in the state have been down a little bit. We, interesting enough, have fewer high school graduates now going into college. So competition really is really pretty severe out there. There's some great community colleges and regional colleges, and of course our 2 research universities. But we've been growing. We're one of the few in the state that has been growing. In fact, over the past year, I could brag a little bit, UCO has had more a greater enrollment than the campuses at Stillwater and Norman combined. So it's a metropolitan university.
One of the issues that we keep hearing, though, is about higher tuition costs. How do you deal with that, and what are the discussions that are taking place? Because I know you want to keep them as low as possible, too.
Absolutely, we do. And one of the things that impacted enrollments across the state this past year was the high gasoline prices. I mean, so many students that commute. I mean, we have over 600 students with a Yukon El Reno zip code, and they're driving into Edmond. Many of them said, as well as other areas where students that say, "Look, I think we're just going to wait a while." But with if the cost of gasoline comes down and we were able to hold the line on tuition, hopefully we'll be able to our students are recognizing that Oklahoma is a relatively low tuition state anyway.
Let me jump in here and get us to our first break of the show. We are visiting with Roger Webb. He's the president of the University of Central Oklahoma. You're watching The Verdict. We'll be right back with more with President Webb right after this.
I am Shay Buchanan, Special Olympics Athlete of the Year, and I am Chickasaw. I have scoliosis and problem with my joints and my arms.
It just amazes me every day to see her here whenever the doctor said, that there's a good chance that she may not be with you for very long.
The competition, it's real good. I throw my softballs far, and I get a ribbon. In the next Special Olympics, I will run faster, throw the softball farther, and I will win.
And I thank God every day that I am blessed with her because she's my little angel.
I'd like to thank the Chickasaws and my friends and family for being there and loving me just the way I am.
Home values are down in some states, but not in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's home values have increased 4.2% during the past 12 months. Unlike some states where home values have decreased as much as 20%. Good thing you're in Oklahoma. There may be real estate problems in some states, but there has never been a better time than now to buy or sell a home in Oklahoma. One of the most affordable states in the country, Oklahomans are buying and selling homes every day, and an Oklahoma Realtor can show you how. Good thing you're in Oklahoma.
Okiwani is an Indian name for a place where children play. When we obtained the camp, we found a lot of oil debris left in the woods. We saw a commercial about how the oil and natural gas industry cleans up old oil well sites. We called the OERB, and they agreed to remove tons of concrete and steel. It didn't cost us a thing. Thousands of children have left their footprints on this land. Thanks to the oil and gas industry, they will for a long time to come.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Camp Myers, and today's guest, the president of the University of Central Oklahoma, Roger Webb. You're doing some important work teaching teachers who can deal with autism. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on the campus in that regard.
Well, this is a program, and that we're very proud. We have a program because of the leadership primarily of two members of our faculty, Dr. Mary Sweetdaughter and Dr. Rita Chandler. We recognize that autism is a serious problem in our state, as it is all state. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, is indicating that as many as 1 in 150 children are being diagnosed with autism. But it's a perplexing problem for parents and for schools, because we just don't have enough teachers who are behavior specialists that can help deal with these students with these very difficult problems. So we've started this class. These are students with master's degrees, and they're willing to stay on for another year to get training in being able to deal with autistic children and become certified board behavior specialist. We're partnering with the Easter Seals of Central Oklahoma, where our students can intern and work in a practicum in a setting where there are parents who bring their children that are being troubled with autism. And we're optimistic that we'll be able to continue to produce a number of people who will be able to go out, hopefully, in our public schools and be able to deal with this really very serious problem.
Now, is this something that's being done elsewhere in Oklahoma, or is this the first kind of a certification program in Oklahoma?
To my knowledge, it is the only one in Oklahoma. And we just don't have enough. I mean, it's like, and I don't know the number, but 20, 25 teachers is all we have that I'm aware of in the state now that are certified to be able to deal with this problem. And it's an expensive thing. Families are saying that they spend $5,000 to $10,000 a year trying to get an early intervention, which research indicates that this is helpful, early intervention. So we certainly need to do more than just train 23 or 25 teachers a year to be able to deal with autism.
How do you predict your output will be of teachers? How many, do you have a goal of how many you want to try to?
Well, I would like to double that number certainly by next year, and our future may depend on what happens in the legislature. There's interest in passing legislation requiring insurance to be able to assist families with children with this disease. Senator J. Paul Gum of Durant and Senator Clark Jolly of Edmond have been leaders in this effort. So we'll see what happens there, but to this point, we've received no additional funds for doing this. We just believe that it's part of our responsibility as a school that teaches teachers and puts teachers in the school to be able to have a program where we can help in this area.
You mentioned the legislature. In general, how active are you in urging the legislator to take one action or another course during each legislative session?
Well, we're involved. All the presidents, to a certain degree, are involved, and we're being fairly close, oftentimes called to be able to work with the other presidents and with our chancellor and our regents to be able to deal in legislative areas.
I was going to go back to UCO's history a little bit and talk. I have heard that UCO is the oldest university in the state of Oklahoma, older than Oklahoma State University or University of Oklahoma. Is that true?
It is the first school. The interesting story is that these pioneers who came in on the run and settled Oklahoma City and Edmond in this area, within 8 months, they were astute enough, even though they weren't very well educated themselves, they decided we need a school to be able to teach teachers to teach our young people. So the first two things that they did in that territorial Congress was set up a system of laws and also a system of education. Edmond became the territorial college, and we began teaching teachers. This is 17 years before Oklahoma became a state.
My goodness, and some of the infrastructure is still there from those early days?
It is. We have that first wonderful old building called Old North. It's right in the heart of the campus. It was built by labor there in the young city that was built on the Santa Fe Railroad of Edmond, and we're in the process of restoring that building now. And hopefully it'll last another 120 years.
One subject we haven't touched on that I know that you and your staff have been very interested in is your association with the United States Olympic Committee. Kind of describe what the efforts are going on there and what your goals are.
Well, we're pleased and delighted that we're able to develop a partnership with the U.S. Olympic Committee. The metro area, Oklahoma City, Edmond, are one of 12 official Olympic partners, and which means that any event before Winter or Summer Games will be held, the Olympic sponsors will be held in one of the Olympic partner cities, and we've had some great Olympic competition on the river, and we'll have other areas. We are an official training site for Paralympics.
Now, describe Paralympics for those who might not be familiar with the term.
These are able-bodied people who have disabilities. We have 17 athletes on our campus who come back from Iraq and Iran without limbs or with some disability. Our U.S. Olympic set volleyball team, our girls volleyball team, won second in Beijing. We have an archer, we have weightlifters. We have the Paralympic Games are held 2 weeks after the regular Olympic Games every year, whether winter or summer. So this is a huge thing, and the U.S. Olympic Committee is recognizing that they need to invest more with those people, particularly the wounded warriors, people who are coming back after serving our country. Able-bodied, we're doing some research studies which we believe that will show that people who have been wounded, either in wartime or civilians, get involved in competition and athletics, that they're going to have a better emotional, mental health, and a better opportunity to be able to adjust to the world.
You've been a college or university president now for, I guess, almost 30 years, approximately 30 years. What do you see in the next decade as being the most significant challenge facing UCO? What are you going to have to do 10 years from now very differently than what you're doing today?
I think we've got to be aware of other forms of delivery of education. We just don't have the physical space or the resources to continue to build more buildings and be able to add more faculty at a given location. So there are other ways that we can deliver education. The ACM program is an example of that. This is going to be a non-traditional kind of program. It's going to be very intensive. It's going to be a different kind of delivery than we have on our college campus. But electronic delivery, being able to change, I think it's going to be extremely important that all of our colleges and universities become greater aware and greater have the opportunity to deal with the change, to become relevant, to offer the kind of programs that today's students need to get them job ready, as opposed to those classes that we were offering 117 years ago when UCO became a campus. You know, there are a lot of traditions that stay the same. Higher education has got to be, I think, more relevant than we have in the past.
And what are you seeing in changes from the students over the course of those 30 years? How are they different today?
Well, they're different in a number of ways, but one of the things that I'm noticing, I mean, this is something that might be of interest to you, the students that come to our campus, and again, I'm in the classroom with students 2 times a week. I think a third of those students will have a Bible in their book bag. Students are coming in today, they're very, they like the structure, they respect authority. The students have, I mean, they have certainly different faiths, but they're coming in and they're, the best students of today are probably better, probably more well-rounded than the best students that I was seeing 30 years ago. Certainly this desire and this craving to understand about how to be a leader in their life. I'm noticing that from a lot more students than in the past.
Well, that's going to have to do it. Roger, thank you so much for coming on The Verdict. We're very appreciative of you spending your time and coming over and being with us.
It was my honor. Thank you very much.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Roger Webb is the president of the University of Central Oklahoma. Kenton will have a final word right after this.
good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers. We're here to wrap up a show with the University of Central Oklahoma's president, Roger Webb. What a fascinating guy, and what a very aggressive agenda he set for that campus.
Well, indeed, I guess you could summarize it in the way you and I were talking just in the break there, that UCO is on a path of continuous relevance. It is just always coming up with new, exciting programs. It doesn't mean it's abandoning the other programs that it has that are quite well respected in the state and in the nation. But to come up with the Contemporary Music Academy, to come up with the autism program, and to keep doing the things that it does with the Olympic Committee, just shows some innovation and forward thinking that is to be applauded.
Yeah, and two examples of what you're talking about there, the technology, expanding the campus through the virtual campus and allowing students from around the state to be able to see what's going on the campus of UCO, and also expanding the campus down into Bricktown. So really having a large presence at the University of Central Oklahoma and expanding opportunities for kids to learn more about contemporary music. So we salute Roger Webb and everything he's doing down at UCO. It's an amazing story.
Indeed.
We also want to allow you, if you need more information about UCO, as we do every week, we allow website information to be distributed, and there you see uco.edu. That's the University of Central Oklahoma's website for more information. And of course, our website, theverdict.tv. Go there and tell us about a show or a guest you'd like to see. We'll see you next week on The Verdict.
The preceding program was produced exclusively for the Cox Channel.